What is going on, everybody? We're gonna get started here in just a second. I just need to get this up on Facebook Live so people can see it. Let's see. Okay. Get right into it.
So this whole thing started when I was actually trying to not be a mechanic anymore, and I wanted to figure out how I was going to move on in life. I was making like $7 an hour, and I knew there was no way I was going to buy a house like that. This progressed into me moving to Texas. I eventually ended up taking a job with a company where I was a full-time broker and ran a trucking company for a small family business. Did this for about 5 years, and it really was okay, but I wasn't going anywhere. It was just kind of, we're spinning our wheels. I'm making this company more and more money, and they're taking more and more cruises and going on vacations, and I'm sitting here holding down the fort, and I'm thinking, this isn't right. Well, there was another economic turn. As this happens, it seems to be like every 10 to 12 years, there's a little, like the whole thing just does an upheaval. And the company was showing cracks in their foundation financially. This just wiped them out. Because of that, we still had customers that had needs. We still had carriers that had the jobs that we were offering. And I was left holding the bag with these customers that had no homes. I was fortunate enough to have a friend of mine who had a company, and we partnered up, and I gave those customers a home as well as those carriers a job. From there, that was the first year I had been out on my own. So like I said in past, I made $45,000 a year. This was the 1 year where I all of a sudden made $120,000, and I didn't do anything different. I was just doing what I was told. Take the loads, match them up with the trucks, service the customer. I've managed to take that from that particular day and grow it to a multi-million-dollar business to where it is today. As of 2020, we're expecting to more than double our income from the years prior. And I'm so proud to say that we've been able to do this in a very short period of time. Thankfully, our customers are very loyal to us, and as our carriers are as well. We've been able to build relationships that have been long-standing, and this is exactly what I want to teach my students. I want to teach them how to do exactly what I've done. Make a fuckload of money.
Looks like we paused there at the end, huh?
Sorry, I cut it off. I got excited. Every time I see that video, it fires me up. Welcome, everybody, to
I like to make a fuckload of money too.
Welcome, everybody, to Broker's Edge Live, your weekly Wednesday night destination where you can gain valuable information as well as talk to our CEO and founder, Jason Bouch. Jason has over 20 plus years of experience in the transportation industry, 17 of those years being an active freight broker. And without further ado, I just want to jump right into it. I got an interesting topic tonight, so I want to bring Jason up. Jason,
let's rock and roll. What do we got tonight?
So tonight we had a lot of questions come in our Facebook group, as well as just independently DMs and stuff.
I love that, man. I love the engagement our group has. It's really nice. I mean, it's like, everybody's trying to kind of start to figure it out and, understand what we're building, that we're building this community of people that are all moving forward in the same direction. We're all trying to do the same thing.
For sure. Yeah. I think 2022 has really kicked some people in the butt. And I think that they're ready to just get after it. They're ready to
the year of the broker.
Thing. Yeah. Right. I like that. We should trademark that.
I think we're going to do that.
So let's just dive right into it. So we're going to be talking about new customers for new brokers, especially. So we had a few questions come in. I'd like to kind of start with those questions. Let me pull them up here.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, my Facebook.
So these were two questions that we got sent in to us that I think are good to start with here. So is there any particular type of freight that's easiest for a new broker to move? That was sent in by John.
Well, all of it. What you need to do when you're new is lean into your core group. That means like your family, your friends, and ask, the hard question. What do you do? If somebody's working for a company, well, okay, cool. Can you introduce me to the transportation person? and hit up that low hanging fruit, because by doing that, what you're doing is you're already creating the relationship, right? You're not just randomly knocking on a door going, hey, can I ship for you? You'll get doors slammed in your face all day long. But if you have a way of, creating that warmer lead, and people want to help somebody starting out, they really do. Everybody had a day one, we all did. I did, everybody did. Connor did. I wasn't born a broker. I was born a baby. So I had to be groomed and developed into what I am today. And I think that the answer to John's question is the type of freight that's easiest to move is the one that allows you to get there first. So you're cutting your teeth. You want to be able to work with something that's fairly easy, but you'll fall into a niche pretty quick. I've got a friend of mine, Andre. I don't know if he's on the call yet, but he moves heavy haul stuff. That's his thing. It is some of the most difficult stuff you'll move, and he loves it. He came to me because he wanted me to teach him how to do the other stuff, the reefer freight, the van freight and stuff. So, it's really whatever you're used to and what you feel comfortable with. Some people love flatbed stuff. I personally hate it. It's not my thing. We're hiring people to do flatbed stuff for us because we're not set up for it that way. Right. But I would encourage you to lean into your core base and just talk to people and just keep asking the question, what do you do? How do you do it? Do you know anybody who does this? Connor specifically, he lives in an area where there's a lot of food shippers. And so when he started with me, he started kind of like the light was going off. He's like, hey, I know that guy. I can talk to this guy. And you don't realize who you know until you really sit down and start just write it out on a piece of paper. It's the law of seven, man. Within the 7 people out, everybody in the world, so somehow we know Elon Musk through 7 other people. It's just those relationships. And you have to start small. So start with your family and friends and branch out from there. I would suggest that be the first move you do.
I love it. And then I know you kind of touched on it with the other, or you touched on it in John's answer here, but Sammy had also said, one of the things that she is getting is, and it looks like it got cut off there. I don't know how that happened, but they're getting the same response from a lot of different potential customers saying that she's new and that they don't work with new brokers. So what would be something that one piece of advice that you would give to her on how she could kind of overcome that obstacle?
Okay. Well, if her company is new, that's a different animal. What you need to do is, again, you need to work with people that have relationships and develop those relationships. If you're new to the industry, but your company has been around a little bit, it's a numbers game. I mean, you're not going to land any customers if you're not putting out the effort to reach out to these customers and talk to them. We want to make sure that the agents are engaging with people and they know how to data mine for information and what to do with that information. We live in the most technologically connected time ever. It's impossible not to get a hold of somebody. Somebody around here has Donald Trump's phone number. They just do. They don't even realize they have it. They have access to it. They probably have an old cell phone or something. As an example, just there's somebody out there you want to talk to. There's a way to find it, but then connecting the dots. Okay. So the second part of that question was, we don't work with new brokers. Okay. Why? You have the right to ask that question. Why? Likely it's been because of a limiting belief that they've had. They've had a bad experience. They're really working with a broker that is a family member already. There's some nepotism to this. And I just, in my previous answer, told you to lean into that nepotism. It works. It's a really good weapon. But really what you want to do is you want to ask the questions in a way that's going to force out the real objections, and you might not get it on the first try. That's okay. You can't be offended by people hanging up the phone. That's their job. They weren't expecting your phone call. They just weren't. It happens to me, even 17, 18 years into this thing. People hang up on me all the time.
It's interesting, Jason, because that exercise that I went through in training, the but why exercise actually relates to this. And it's something that I was doing It's an exercise where you look at your goals and you ask yourself 5 times why. Like, I want, so I don't know how many people know that I bought a school bus. So like, let's say, for example, it was, I want to buy a school bus. I would ask myself why, and then I would answer that question. And then I would say, okay, but why to that answer? And you would run this 5 times until you really start to get emotional, or you start really thinking and you get to that solid answer. It's the same thing when you're talking to people and trying to find the objection. You're just trying to get down to the true objection,
the root cause.
Right.
Yeah. And likely you won't get 5 times to ask the question why they'll hang up on you by then. You're lucky to probably get 3 out. You're going to want to pivot and decorate it a little bit differently. And we go over that in some of the coursework that we offer. But we, when you're talking to somebody for the first time, you're just getting to know them. They don't know who you are. You just popped up on, it's like somebody knocked on your door trying to sell you something. How likely are you to open the door and say, "Yeah, come on in"? You're not, unless you're insane. I mean, like, that's not going to happen. You're so desperate. I mean, that's weird, right? So they're not going to allow that to happen, and be okay with it. Give it some time, couple days, call back. There's nothing wrong with that. They've forgotten your call anyway. They've had 1,000 other things happen between then and 2 days later. And don't be pesteros, but there is something to be said for being persistent. As long as you're professionally persistent, people will respect that. And really all you're doing is you're chipping away at it. You're chipping away at that defense. And once you get through that defense, they'll respect you for it. They'll say, "Hey, yeah, if you're going to work as hard for me as you did to get a hold of me, sure, why not?" People respect that. They're not going to respect you if you sit there and you pound them and you call them and you hassle them and you treat them like assholes. Well, we're both laughing because we know who I'm relating to. There's a particular company that contacts us, and they're obnoxious, and they have no reason to be. And it just, they want our business so bad, and we've already had an experience with them, so it doesn't make any sense to do business with somebody like that. If you're a broker and you've worked with a customer before and you've trashed their business, you've done something horrible to them, and then you change companies, it's probably not a good idea to call on them again. And that, that's just common sense.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's definitely an interesting, that's definitely something that I think I personally want to capitalize on and talk about is the follow-up. You'd be amazed at how many people I've myself seen call back somebody that you would think is a cold lead, or somebody that you think is never gonna, we go through lists all the time, we're calling new customers all the time, and then we'll go back to a cold lead list, and it's a cold list that we think is dead, but you go through it and you'll be amazed at some of the people that are like, "Man, I can't believe you called back." And then they have a 20-minute conversation with them and you end up doing business with them. Yeah. So the follow-up process is huge. So if you don't have a follow-up process already in place, I would definitely look into incorporating a follow-up process.
We'd be happy to teach you one too.
Absolutely. We have it in our course, actually.
Yeah.
Not this, I don't think it's in this course, but we are actually designing one.
Yeah, in the next one, we've got an iteration where we offer the follow-up steps, and it's pretty persistent without being obnoxious, but it's colorful, and it's designed to be memorable, and that's really what you want to do, is be memorable.
I think that there's another thing too with this, and this just comes from believing in yourself. A lot of the times, people say you can't sell something if you don't believe in it yourself. So if you believe in yourself, if you believe in your product, I don't see there being any reason why you can't take that giant step. If somebody's saying no or whatever, just say, "Why not? Look, give me a chance. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. We can go our separate ways. How much it's not going to kill your business if this doesn't work out. But if it does work out, I'm looking to build and nurture long-lasting relationships in this industry. And this is something that I want to do with your company." And I feel like 9 times out of 10, they're going to respect you saying that. I think not 9 out of 10 times or 10 out of 10 times.
Look, if you don't do business with us, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I didn't communicate correctly what you should know. Sure. I haven't given you the opportunity to work with us, and I failed that, Sure. But the other things we'll tell people is like, are you really going to get fired for shipping one load with me? You just try it out. I mean, is your boss going to fire you for trying to do something better?
Right.
What have you got to lose?
Mhm.
And how hard
Just-
could this be? It's a no-brainer decision, man.
Just think if you go with somebody new, like let's say I'm new and somebody goes with me and I have a cheaper rate than everybody else, and I do, and or say I don't even have a better price than everybody else, but the service is there. So they go with you and they are blown away by the service. You're contacting them, letting them know where the load's at, when it's going to be delivered, and you're just, anything that happens, you're on top of it and you're communicating with the customer. That's something that some companies are looking for. They don't care about the price. They're just looking for a quality service because they need to run their operation efficiently. And the communication is a huge part of that.
That's how we run 360. 360 Freight Solutions is a very high touch, white glove type of operation. We're not the cheapest guys in the book, and we don't want to be. We want to offer service. We want to be able to come to our customers and let them give us the product and know that they can go back to doing whatever it is that they do for a living. They can go to sleep at night knowing that 360's got this. And that's why we do what we do. Other companies handle it differently. You know, they want to be the cheapest guy in the box and you know, offer shit service. And, you know, there's a place for companies like that. We just don't want to be that guy.
Mhm.
Now, it's up to you how you want to represent yourself. As a broker, you're the product, right? So if you're in a room of 500 people and you're the only one doing it right, you're going to look like a rock star, you know, but what does it mean to do it right? You know,
Sure.
I mean, you've got to learn these things, and that's what we teach here, you know, the right things to do. We want to make sure that people understand that when a certain circumstance happens, you've got an option, you've got several options you can choose to correct it and how to handle it. But how you handle something means that you're the product now. You're the one that is actually, you're the go-to. You're the glue in the whole deal, right? And you'll position yourself with a customer where you become indispensable. And that's when things get real interesting, because then they don't care how much they pay. You know, if you decide to move to a different company, they'll come with you. I am living testament to that.
Yep. 100%.
No,
It is a good segue going into the second half of what we want to talk about, which is once you do everything right, you've landed your customers. Jason, how do you keep them? How do you keep those customers for a long lasting relationship with you and your company?
Well, you effectively make them your freight family. My mentor, Michael, when I was starting off early on, he told me, he says, I want you to look around this room. See all these people here? These aren't your coworkers. The people that move the freight, in our case, we were doing air freight. So he goes, you know, the people with the airlines and the customers, those are your coworkers. They're the ones that are going to make you money. These people sitting around here that want to do lunch with you and stuff, ignore them. You don't need them. That was about a 5-second conversation that changed my life. And the reason is because you really are working with them. They are your coworkers. They are the people that you're going to interact with more than your own wife or husband. You know, you spend more time with them during the day than anybody. And when they're only going to call them if they need something, right? But sometimes they call to say hi. And that's what I would do. I would turn the script on and just say, hey, you know, I'm just calling, checking in, seeing how things are going. Is there anything going, you know, what's going on? What's for lunch today? When you have that open space, you can do those types of things. But by doing that, you're building up credibility in your relationship. Now, you know, you're not calling wanting something, you're adding value. You know, they want to talk to you, and now it becomes fun. You know, and I get that all the time. Just call Jason. It's fine. Because I've built that credibility, you know. I mean, I've got customers that call me on holidays. We shipped on New Year's Day. We were shipping out butter. And I'm like, how are we going to do that? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
You know, but that's what you have to do. You have to be there and be able to present options. You may not be able to do exactly what the customer needs in that circumstance, but what you do need to do is be able to present options for them so that they have different ways to handle it. Let them make the choice. You know, don't take a load and say, yeah, I got this, and then fail. That's the worst thing you can do.
For sure.
You know,
from a professional standpoint too. Sorry, I didn't really introduce myself to those that are new here. My name's Connor. I am the marketing director at Broker's Edge and 360 Freight Solutions. And from a marketing standpoint, I wanted to touch on something as well. I know we kind of go over the top with our marketing. We're on every platform. We're posting pretty religiously, like almost every single day.
We need to amp that up, dude.
Yeah, you'll see us somewhere. But Jason made a reference about the people in the same room as you. So I like to looking at this from a marketing perspective for your company. You don't want to be following your friends and family for like on your account, whatever account you're using for your business. You want to be going out, you want to delete all of them and start following people that are going to make you the money, are the ones that you're going to be interacting with every day, the ones that you need to see your content, because then what that does is it's going to then just push other companies, other people that have the same interests as them. Yeah. The algorithms are smart. They're a lot smarter than me, I'll tell you that. And I've learned this stuff from different people that they don't claim to have figured out the algorithm, but they're a lot better at it than most people. So, and it's always changing too. So don't quote me on that and do it. And then 4 months from now, tomorrow's changes.
A brand new day. Who knows?
Right. But for right now, if you have a business, I would suggest trying to do that. And even if you do, let's say you delete 25 people that, like you're kind of friends with, whatever, and then turn around and go find 25 different it could be companies. If you're looking for customers, it could be those companies. Just go follow those companies, because it's going to pop up and someone is on the other end of that phone or other end of that account, and they're going to see that you followed them. And if you have some quality, content and stuff on there that shows that who you are and what you do, it could lead to a conversation. It could lead to one DM that turns into a meeting with, the CEO of the company, and you're set, or the manager of the actual transportation. So
yeah, social media is kind of funny because it allows you a different level of access to people. You can find CEOs and department heads very easily, especially if you know who you're looking for. It's kind of like LinkedIn, but it's a little bit more personal, I think. But, to Connor's point, yeah, I mean, you don't want to be posting you doing keg stands and stuff, and then, expect people to take you seriously. It's not going to happen. If you look at the material that we have, I mean, it's very centralized. It's around food, family, and business. Mm-hmm. And the purpose behind that is because we want to show my lifestyle and what we're doing on and off, when we're working, when we're not working.
Right.
And, the people that I follow are very strategic, and John Maxwell's a great example. Okay. Do I listen to absolutely everything he says? No, I can't. He's got so much material out there. It's endless. Right. But if I see something I like and I like it, and somebody else sees that I'm following them, it creates that bond, because now we're like-minded in that sense. So, who you follow really does matter. And if you go to connect with somebody and, they've got a private account, they're not there to do business. I get people offer to connect with this all the time. I'm like, okay. And I look at their profile, this is private. I'm like, goodbye. Mm-hmm. I don't need you. I mean, if you're there to do business and you're not, trolling or who knows what, then you don't have to have a private account. If you got something to hide, I don't need you in my life.
For sure. I 100% agree with that. I think that I 100% agree with that.
Oh, I know you do.
With that, I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? I know I shot it in the chat, but if anybody's got questions, I'd love to bring some people up and ask questions if you have any. I know we kind of ran it short. It looks like we got somebody else coming in the room here.
Anisha.
Let's see. Any questions we can answer? Probably anything.
I can tell you who came first, the chicken or the egg.
Nisha, how are you? Sorry, we actually kind of just wrapped it up here, but if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you, or even just introduce yourself.
Yeah, we got some first time people here. It'd be great to meet you.
Nice to meet everyone.
Hi, Nisha. How are you?
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Christopher, I see your question. We'll get to you here in a minute, buddy. Oh, she's gone. I thought we were talking.
Chris, I'll have you unmute yourself if you want to jump in here. We can talk this out here.
Sure.
Yeah, we got you.
There we go.
How you doing tonight, bud?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Fantastic, man. Happy to have you here. And, we're really looking forward to what 22 is going to bring for us as well as you guys. We've got some great things in the work, and we're looking forward to delivering some really quality product for you guys. But to see your question, how long have you been a broker?
Let's actively trying to secure loads. I would say 2.5 months. My
Okay.
MC is, I got it in, it went active in July.
July of last year?
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
I'm actively trying to secure loads. It's about 2.5 months.
Okay. There is your problem. Are you factoring?
I have a factoring, but I haven't made a copper penny yet.
Okay. Well, here's the reason why nobody wants you. Well, I'm sorry that came out bad, but your credits, you're a ghost right now. So everybody's freaking out. This is a very truck minded market right now, and money talks. So your customers are probably really good at saying yes to you, but don't realize what they're offering you. I don't, how is your pricing? I mean, like, are you having problems with when you talk to the trucks? Walk me through how a call goes for you.
Well, actually, I have shippers that, I post loads on the load boards, and of course, I don't get any hits back. So I'll go and talk or call the carriers, and the only loads I have now is from Idaho going into Cali, and I have one from Wisconsin going into Cali.
Are those the Idaho? Is that coming out of Gooding, Idaho, by chance?
Wiser.
Okay, yeah. I think we know the same gentleman.
No traction. No traction.
What kind of rate do you have on that, if you don't mind me asking?
Matter of fact, I think I got it pulled up. If you bear with me for a second.
I just had a high level conversation with a particular customer in that area, and
I'm sorry.
they confided in me what they're paying these days.
3,500, and
that is a good rate.
And
that's a solid rate.
Yeah, that's what me just wanting to, cut my teeth in it. And I'm not saying I'm gonna do it for free, but it just wants to make $100.
Well, but that's what they're paying the trucks. Okay, but here's the problem. When you do the math, you've got to look at this from a grand scheme of things, right?
Okay.
So you're paying $3,500, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your factoring company is going to take what, 2%?
3.
Ooh, you need a new factoring company. Okay, so right there alone, they're charging $105 on that deal. Okay. So if you broke even on that load, you gave it to them for $3,500, you're losing $105 right off the top.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Actually, are you asking me, is that rhetorical?
No, I'm trying to deliver a point.
Oh,
here.
yes. It does make sense.
Okay. All right. So that's a slippery slope with a broker when we deal with factoring companies, because you have to be able to factor that into your price to your customer and still make money somehow, right? The way we've handled it in the past is because stuff on the West Coast is so expensive. We do so much of it on the East Coast and other locations that it creates a differential for us. So we don't really worry about losing money. We'll lose fractions of a dollar here and there on the West Coast because I know I'm going to make it up on the East Coast. But I do that to be competitive and keep my name in the game, right? So back to your original question, why doesn't anybody want to work with you? It's because you need to be able to get your factoring company to talk to their factoring company. If you can build a relationship with them like that, what will happen is then you'll start getting green lighted. Usually it takes 90 days of activity for something to happen. 90 days from the first invoice that you've created with a truck.
Okay.
So if you start today and you bill out your first load today, that means it'll be April before you're actually off the hook. And it'll still take you even a little bit longer than that for things to kind of catch up. But you have to build that credit history. Otherwise, you're never going to get off the ground. They need to know you have a factoring company. So when they have these conversations with the trucks, they're like, oh, we don't, no. Like, who do you factor with? Just interrupt them. Who do you factor with? Oh, Apex. Oh, great. You know what? My factoring company has a great relationship with them. Can I get your contact and let's talk it out? And we'll set you up on this thing. Now you've added value to the conversation, right? It's not that they don't want to work with you, Chris. I mean, why would they care one way or the other? They just want to know that they're going to get paid and the load's good. That's all they care about.
Okay.
So I think that if you can get across that hurdle, that's the hurdle everybody runs through, man. I mean, we, although I've been doing this for a long time, we reorganized our company last year, actually in 2020, right before COVID hit. And we did our first load in February of last year. We're only coming up on our year anniversary. I still have people questioning whether or not I'm credit viable, even though we've done millions of dollars of business last year.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we closed out the year at 4.5 million. And that was just our dry run, really, you know. But we had to overcome credit issues and all these other problems that you're dealing with too. And that's how we did it.
You know,
The other thing you can do is call, get a hold of Truck Stop. And what they'll do is they'll give you a credit rating sheet, give them 5 references, fill that out. They'll contact those references, and that'll help you a little bit along the way too, because they have their own rating system at the Internet Truck Stop. And a lot of these guys will use that stuff and they'll look at you. And if you're a ghost, they want to talk to you.
wow. Okay.
But that's how you build that up.
That makes sense then.
All right.
Okay. Appreciate
How
it.
else can I help you?
Just with, I guess, you know, well, no, that's it. I mean, I'm a ghost. So
Well, we're going to bring you into the light. How's that sound?
yeah, I was like, why can't I get a lane from, like, say, Dallas to Memphis, or, you know, why is it Wise or Idaho to, you know,
Yeah.
such, you know, but
Well, it is what it is. I'm trying to think. Wisconsin to California, you said?
no, Wisconsin to Salisbury, North Carolina, and Idaho to all California.
Yeah, right. I would call, I'm trying to remember. There's a company called Kavkaz. They're based out of Denver, and they get up into the Chicagoland area a lot. They'll send trucks up to Wisconsin for you if you get the money for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and
It's KAV.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chris, if you want, just
put in the
shoot
chat.
your email. Yeah, I was gonna say, even if you want to shoot
Yeah,
your
shoot
email
your
or
email.
your whatever,
Shoot your
and
email. We'll just
I'll
send you
send it to you.
information
I'll send
best.
you.
Okay, appreciate it. Hey, I thank you for even inviting me and giving me
Yeah.
the reminder too, because
We do
Oh,
this
yeah.
call every Wednesday, man.
okay.
Yeah, come every week. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're serving up information every chance we get, you know, and if we get the questions, we can, you know, tailor it to what you guys are actually looking for. We're, you know, a lot of times we get the online questions and we just, you know, work with those or we punt with a topic, but, you know, we love working with you guys directly, man. I mean, that's what we're here for. That's why we do it. Anybody else got any questions? I saw
What
Nisha
else we got?
jumped off, jumped back on.
Yeah, she was having issues with getting in. It was giving her all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
She logged in, I think, every way possible. Google. I was like, I didn't even know you do that. But she's in now.
So we got Chelsea on the phone. Who else? I'm
We
looking
got
for
somebody
names I don't
else.
recognize.
Somebody else joining as well here. Cool, Chris. What I'll do is I will send you an email here right after the call.
Appreciate it.
No worries. No worries. All right. Let's see who else just
Yeah.
hopped in here. Miki. Let's see
Am I
if he.
pronouncing that right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Let's see if we can get him unmuted
It's a
here.
very pink truck.
Hey, there we go.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We missed you. We started the call half an hour ago, but it's no worries. You're here now. So if you have any questions, we're happy to answer your questions.
I think she muted herself.
Oh,
Again.
sorry. I can unmute you again here. See if we got anything.
Is that your truck?
Oops.
No, I wish it was.
That's pretty
No, I'm
decked
just
out.
observing. I don't have any questions right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So is it Miki? Is that how you say
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Miki, are you in our Facebook group?
I think you froze.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Are you in our Facebook group by chance or no?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll put that into the I'll put the link to it in our chat here, and then how'd you connect with us? Facebook?
Yes, Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shoot us a message on Facebook, and what I'll do is I'll invite you to I can do it through Jason's account too. So if you just shoot Jason a message, what I'll do is I'll invite you to the group, and then after this call, we're gonna probably have the whole recording of this call on that in that group, so you can go back and watch it, and then if you have any questions based off that, you can bring them next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Perfect. No problem. All right. So if nobody else has any questions, I don't want to hold everybody here. I know it's kind of
Yeah.
late on the East Coast here, so I want to get everybody that's on the East Coast here off and situated. So with that, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody showing up. This is one of the
Thank you very much, guys.
one of the best I think calls that we've had so far. I think it went pretty well. So
I like the way we're starting off 22. Let's rock this
yeah,
out.
I love it. I love it. Next week, let's double the numbers. Bring all your friends. Everybody bring one friend next week. I would very much appreciate it.
You know what? We're gonna 22. We're gonna start doing some giveaways too. So like,
Sure.
yeah, I think we'll start off with kind of a little referral program, kind of bring a friend thing. We'll give you a hat or something. I don't know.
For sure.
We'll come up with something cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. With that, thank you very much and have a good night. Let's bring a win next week too. I want to hear a win. I'll bring one and everybody else bring one. All right, guys.
Love it.
Have a good
Love
night.
it.
All right. Appreciate
Good night,
it.
guys.
Yep. Night, Chris.